evening. It is 89 degrees according to this, but I don't know. I really don't know. You all, yesterday and today, I've had a day of just driving around, being an Uber. Whatever gas I put in yesterday, it's gone already. I'm gonna have to put gas again tomorrow. And today, by the way, is the first day of testosterone injection. Hormonal. Why can't I say some words? Hormonal therapy. There you go. And I was telling my aunt, because my aunt called me while I was on my bike. I was already finishing up anyway, but she calls me and she asked if we can go get my cousin from dialysis. My cousin does dialysis every other day for like 4 hours a day. And I'm like, yes, like, just give me 10 minutes and I'll be right there. But then my neighbor comes over for the cat treatment for Lily of the Valley, as she put her. And we were talking about yesterday's drama because... Okay, first let me tell you about the therapy. This is what I wanted the video to be about. Okay, I got the injection. I was fine right after. I did a couple of errands. And then right after I finished eating, I had my counseling. And I noticed that I started to feel like nauseated. Like I wanted to throw up. And I think I can turn over here. I don't think they're working on this side of the street. And so I popped in a Mint while I was in counseling, and I was like, I'm sorry, it's because I have an upset stomach, and this usually will soothe my tummy, right? And it did go away. It went away, but then I started getting like kind of like a slight headache, you know? And I'm like, this can't be possible because I took in a leave in the morning. Holy cow, that car freaked me out. But, you know, I'm feeling alright right now. Like, I was feeling really, like, sluggish, I guess, earlier. And I was going to try to take a nap. It didn't work out. And so, I just ended up getting up. Then I just decided to go. I cleaned up the kitchen because I made some supper, and I was like, you know what, like, let me go ahead and get started on exercising. No, let me back up. I did watch church online since I didn't go on Sunday because somebody behaved badly Saturday. So I watched church online, and it was a really good service, and it was like, oh my God, everything that I was saying in my video yesterday about is love enough, Pastor kind of touched on some of that stuff. And I was like, wow. Like, Pastor, it's like, I feel like you have my house bugged. Like, you know what to tell me, you know? And I really can't get into it right now because I don't have my notes with me. And I'm driving. But, yeah. I guess I'll talk about it some other time. But, okay, so last night, my neighbor and I were talking outside, and we were talking about the bats, and we were both laughing about it, and then all of a sudden we hear this yelling, and we're like, what's going on, you know? Well, actually, she's the one that was like, what's going on, you know? And I was like, oh, it's probably that little boy. I call him a little boy because he's like my son's height and weight and everything. Although my son is 23, I don't know how old he is, but he was calling somebody the B word, and I was like, well, maybe he's just arguing with his sister, you know? But no, he was arguing with somebody else. I know that vehicle does not live there, whoever drives that vehicle. And he was calling her the B word because his mother, per usual, is always blocking the exit to get out. And you all know this for a fact because I even recorded it. Remember I said, oh, I got you this time. I'm recording you, and I'm going to screenshot it and send it to the landlady, which I never did. But they did this to this other girl, right? You know, my aunt gave me some cookies. And then, okay, is that, what the hell is that? Is that an airplane? Y'all see that? Is that an airplane? Okay, I gotta move forward. That does not look like a freaking airplane. Why am I always seeing weird things in the sky? Why? That does not look like an airplane. We'll call it an airplane. Okay, it's an airplane. It's going really fast for an airplane. And there's lightning on that side. So will it rain? Who knows? Y'all hang on. I was gonna go straight for my son, but he just texted me if I can take him his wallet. So I'm like, great. You know what? And while I'm at it, let me throw the trash. You all are gonna wait in here for a bit. I'm not gonna be long. Let me take the cookies that my aunt gave me. Oh, they didn't want any cookies. I don't think so. Okay, you all. It took a little longer because I had to look for the wallet and I had to do some other stuff. Okay, this stayed on. I had to wash my cat's bowl because I remembered when my neighbor came over for the flea treatment, her dog started drinking my cat's water. And I'm like, why are you putting your little nose in there? I just washed that this morning. He's so cute though. So, I don't know what I was talking about now. I don't remember. What was I talking about? I got distracted with that plane, quote unquote. You all, now we have what I call Headless Ellie. Turns out that doll, I don't even know what to call her, mannequin, doll, whatever, it is Ellie from The Last of Us. And I think that's her name. I hope I got the name right. And I really like that show. You know, it's on HBO Max. I really liked it. However, I was really disappointed when Joel died. But it is what it is. That's the way it goes, right? And, but this Ellie is the actual Ellie. You know, it's not the Ellie from the show, because I know a lot of people don't like that Ellie, whatever the actress' name is. She's like a boy girl or girl boy or something. And they don't like her. I'm neither here or there about her. I really don't care. She's an actress. She's playing a part. I really don't give a crap, right? I just like the show. And this Ellie is apparently the actual Ellie from the game. So she is pretty, you know, and all, but no, I still don't want her in my home. And so on Friday, my son's like, I meant to tell you and show you how to remove her head. That way she don't freak you out anymore. So he showed me, you know, and he just like twists the head off. Twist, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, like that's not uncomfortable for me. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not going to be twisting her head off. I don't even want to touch her, you know? And then he's like, did you move her arms? I'm like, no, I don't even want to touch her. She freaks the hell out of me. Why would I even touch her and move her arms? And he was like, because her arm wasn't like this. I'm like, don't be telling that stuff to me. Don't be telling me that. So anyway, he took her head off. And I have no idea where the head is now, because I've looked in the closet when I hang his clothes up, because I'm that mom. And I don't know where it is. He must have hid it somewhere. I don't know. But now we have Headless Ellie. And when I went in there to get his wallet, I was like, I still don't like you, Headless Ellie. I don't like you. But it's not as uncomfortable as it was before, right? Now I remember what I was going to tell you all, the drama. Okay, thank you. Whoever reminded me. You manifested it to me. So there's an old Mustang that goes. It's kind of loud. It goes, I've noticed, every now and then into the complex, and it'll park on the side, but it's away from the middle of the road. Like there's still room around for, you know, anybody to come in and out of there. And it's not taking up anybody's space, in other words. Turns out, my neighbor told me that it's a student. She's a student that comes to help out one of the other tenants with their dog. So she's kind of like a dog walker, I guess. Because that tenant, something happened to her where she's now bound to a wheelchair, you know, and so she'll come and walk the dog. Only she charges $30 a day to do it, okay? $30 a day. Yes, that is high, but that's her job. You know, that's her job. That's the fee she charges for her services. What can you do? And so when my neighbor was telling me about it, she's like, that's a lot of money, you know? And I was like, well, then what the hell were you planning on paying me? You told me you were going to pay me $200, you know? Like, what the hell? But anyhow, So now what started all this drama was that, oh, and by the way, I told her to let that girl know that my ring picked up the voices from the drama, from said drama. So if she wanted to tell the landlady about it, I will send her the video and she can let her know, like, look, this is what he called me. Okay, so the neighbor's boy, right? The other neighbor who is always blocking the exit. He was yelling obscenities to her, calling her the B word, right? All because she honked for them to move. It's not against the law to honk, number one. And secondly, he had no right to do that. He is a resident there. Yes, he's on a contract, but he doesn't pay the rent. The parents do. So, only the parents can say anything, and they should say something to their children about their behavior. Mainly the boy, because the girl that they have, she didn't say anything, So we heard this yelling going on, and finally, they left. I don't know what else came of it, but I just let her know, that I have the recording if she needs it. If she doesn't want to do anything about it, that's fine too. That's up to her. I'm still keeping the recording though to show if that ever happens in my case, so I can show the landlady, look, this is the way they've acted before, this is the way they're acting now. I don't know what's wrong with those people. I don't know why they feel like so entitled that they think they can block the exit from everybody else just because it's them, just because they have an Audi. Who cares? That's an old Audi anyway. It's worthless. Once you drive off any vehicle off the dealership, and I know this because I worked at a dealership for over 10 years, once that vehicle is off our lot, it's already depreciated in value. I can tell you that much. It's no longer worth. I don't care. I do not care if you went this morning and financed a $60,000 truck. The moment you drive it off our lot, it's already depreciated in value. But I just bought it this morning. How could it be? It's already depreciated in value. It's no longer in our lot. It's no longer brand spanking new. It's already going down in value. If you try to trade it in, they're not going to give you the 60 grand you just financed. And by the way, they're not going to take it back. I have two people looking at me. I guess a couple came and ate together. The girl went to the right, the guy went to the left, and they're both looking at me. And I'm sitting here drinking my Gatorade. She had nice legs. You all, I'm excited. I was just about to park there, mister. Another vehicle came. I'm excited because despite that hiccup that happened over the weekend with the son and the girlfriend, they're going to help me start building my legs up. They were it's like a vitamin, no, what would you call it? A supplement, like a vitamin supplement store in San Antonio called Rocks. We don't have one here. They had offered me some amino acids when, that next day on Sunday, but I had already had that LMNT that I mentioned, which I'm completely out. I'm probably gonna have to go back and get some tomorrow, just a couple of little packages to hold me over. But they made me a list basically of what I'm gonna need to start replenishing some of that loss of muscle due to age, due to the weight loss, due to the menopause, So they're getting me something for that, and then they're getting me something for like the post, I guess not so much as a workout, but like a post supplement to make sure that I stay hydrated, to replenish any of the muscle loss as well. You know, it's got all these things in there that is so good for you. And then they're also going to have me on some focus. We're doing the focus supplements again. Yes, we are. Y'all remember when I was taking the other focus supplements? They didn't work worth a damn. I even forgot to take them sometimes. I finally finished them and I'm like, I don't feel any different. It did nothing for me. And this one, though, that they recommended has lion's mane in it. And I said, oh yeah, I've heard about that. You know, in that Rise coffee that has lion's mane. I heard it was kind of gross, but then again, that's like a mushroom type of coffee. I don't know if these pills are going to have the same thing. I'm hoping not, because I don't want to end up with an upset stomach. This is me. I'm really like iffy about taking anything, any medications, any supplements, because I don't want to end up with an upset stomach. I hate that. And I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned in a video, I think I did. I don't remember. That I throw up all the time. I throw up all the time for everything. You know, every little thing messes up my stomach. And I remember a long time ago, my mom had told me it's because I'm a Cancer. That's my sign, a Cancer. And my mom's not even a Cancer. She was born in November, so I don't even know how she would know this. But anyway, she's like, yeah, you all always end up with upset stomachs and headaches and yada yada, the moon and this and this and that. She told me all this, and I guess it's kind of like she spoke it over me, and ever since then I've had it in my head that, yeah, I have a sensitive stomach. You know, if the moon shifts, I have a headache, whatever. And it stuck with me. I know, we got to break that. The power of prayer, we got to break that in the name of Jesus, you know. I know, I've already spoken over myself about that and breaking generational curses and all that stuff. And I do believe that it has worked, it's helped. However, you know, today, as I mentioned, I got that shot and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't feel anything. It didn't even hurt, to be honest. It didn't hurt. I don't like injections. But then I started feeling really lightheaded and nauseated, and I'm like, okay, is this because of the injection or is it because of Saturday still? Am I still feeling that aftermath of Saturday, you know? I hope not. That's why I've been drinking a lot of my Gatorade Zeros here, my waters and my electrolytes, my other electrolytes. But yeah, I'm excited that we're gonna get them this Friday, and then they're gonna bring them down to me at the end of the month, because his son, my husband's son, is gonna compete in some kind of muscle, Mr. whatever. Yeah, I don't know if it's Mr. Universe. I don't know, some kind of muscle competition. Okay, and they had invited me to go also. And I was going to sit with her. However, I'm kind of like, first of all, I don't even know how much it is. And we've been, like I said, we've been spending too much money already. Too much money. And I'm kind of like wanting to give our bank a break already. You know, let's give our bank account a break. You know, like, we need to really, like, relax. So, I don't know. But my husband's the type that'd be like, you already told them you were going to go, so now you have to go. Blah, 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 blah. Just go. I'll figure it out. I don't like that. I don't like that he does that, because I'm like, look, if it's $45 to go in, I would rather pay those $45 towards a bill. You know, if I can pay 1 month ahead, I will. That way next month we don't have to worry about having to come up with that. You know, I would rather do that. That's my thinking. His thinking is more like, have fun now, worry about it later. And no, I can't do that. I just can't. And in fact, that's one of the things I was telling my counselor. I was like, anywhere he sees that there is, I try my hardest, you all, to, let me move my car before somebody else parks where I like to park. And then I will finish, if I remember, because you all know my memory is short. Short term. Okay. There we go. And then I have a runny nose for some reason. Okay. So, oh my God, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, okay. So, I'm always like, he gives me the money. I go over the bills and I pay them, right? And knock on wood, and thank you, Jesus, that we're always ahead on our bills. However, whenever I tell him, oh, we're down to this amount on this bill, because he'll ask me. He's always asking me. Or, you know what, I got us out of this bill already because I managed to, like, talk them into giving us, like, not really a settlement, but whatever amount to close it out already. Since this is all we owe, can we close it with this amount already? Or whatever, you know. And we'll be saving, you know, like $100, $200 from that. Wherever he sees an opening, he's just like, oh, I gotta fill that up, you know. And that's what happened over the weekend. As soon as he came down, he went and he got his truck lifted. Now he can make payments on that of $118 a month for a year. They're giving him up to a year to pay it off for $118 a month, which I wish he had not done. We need to pay off these other important bills first to get out of that. And then you would have money, a little bit of money to play with where you could get that done. But now you just piled on this other expense on top of the other expenses, you know? But he don't listen. So then he tells me, no, I'm going to pay it off in 3 months. $500 every 3 months. I mean, every month for 3 months, and it'll be paid off. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, mister. If you can afford $500 to pay off that truck lift in 3 months, why haven't we paid off these other bills in 3 months? Why are we suffering with these other bills? And then he starts like, oh, don't worry about it. And I'm doing this for me. And I work hard, and this is for me. And da 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 da. And we'll pay off those bills by the end of the year, by Christmas. Yes, husband. I understand your plan. My plan was to pay off the bills before Christmas so that we can have money to buy for the Christmas. You know, but now we have a major setback again because of this. And then, of course, he has another tantrum and starts yelling, yada, yada. I don't know if you wives out there deal with husbands like that, but yeah. So, if y'all have any advice for me on that, please give it to me. Please do so in the comment section. And I know you all have advice. And I know y'all are keeping quiet about it. I don't know why. You're not going to offend me. I would rather, you know, you give me advice that's going to offend me, but it's going to help me in the future, you know, or in the present for that matter. But, oh, here comes my son. Is he going to want his wallet already or what? Hang on, you all. He's coming. You're getting something here or Taco Bell?
I don't know, I was debating on
I don't want anything.
it. I'll just get something here.
Alright. Okay. That was my baby. I don't know if his voice came out, but that was my baby. So, yeah, I know you all are holding back on me. So y'all better like fess up already. I need marital advice here. I was talking to my counselor about all that. And in short, her advice to me was start taking care of myself. That I've done all I can already with my husband. I've advised him all that I could. I've tried to do all that I could. I told her about the conversation that I had with him. I told her that I've been wanting to ask him, where do I fit into your life? What's my purpose in your life? And she's like, those are two very important questions that you need to ask him. Like, she's like, those are very good questions. Because, let me tell you all real quick. My husband's gone 3 weeks out of the month. And this is every month. He's actually gone for more than that. He's actually gone like 3.5 weeks out of the month. I only get him for 4 days out of the month. So basically, I'm doing marriage alone, right? So in those 4 days that he comes home, a lot of it is already planned out by him with his family. It's spending time with his daughter, which, I really don't mind because it gives me a chance to see the little munchkins, his grandkids, my grandkids, and I love them to death, so I don't mind that. However, I've already spoken to him about this before, and I was telling her about this, and I said there needs to be some kind of balance. Okay, if we're going to spend Saturday with him, let's make time for Moon on Sunday. Let's take Moon somewhere on Sunday. And it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It doesn't have to be, oh, let's go to the steakhouse for dinner and spend $60 after we just had, a $60 barbecue. Absolutely not. It doesn't have to be that way. But let's take Moon out for a coffee. Or an ice cream. I love ice cream. Let's take Moon for an ice cream. Let's talk to Moon for a little while. What's going on in her mind? Let me tell Moon how I've been feeling too lately. Let's get our feelings out on the table and let's just drown them in ice cream. And then we'll feel better and go back home. But at least we had that intimacy. See, the lack of intimacy that we have right now, and TMI, and I'm not embarrassed about this because my husband is 61 years old. He's already going through that stage, if you all know where I'm going with this. And we are not very intimate in the bedroom, and we haven't been for a very long time. I'm going through my own thing, the menopause. I really don't even care either at this point. However, where we lack in that area, we need something else to make up for it. Like conversation, like cuddling, laughter, spending time together, connecting with each other. Excuse me. Maybe I should drink some Gatorade. Hold on. Because that was hard to get out, by the way. And that's not happening because the times that he comes home, oh, we gotta spend time with my daughter. And oh, I gotta go visit my parents. And oh, I gotta go to the store. I gotta get ready to leave again. And that's how quick it goes. Those 4 days are quick. And it's not really even 4 days because on the third night, I drop him off at the truck stop. And he takes off on the fourth day. So it's not even 4 days that I get total. It's actually just 3. But in between all that, there is no moon time. You know what I mean? There's no moon time. There's no intimacy with Moon. No conversation. It's just go, 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 go. And you know, it's almost to the point where it's like I've been neglected for so many years already. It is called neglect. It's neglect. And I've tried to explain to him, like, this is going to sound funny. Look, picture me as a flower or even a plant, a house plant if you want. Sometimes you water me when you come home and sometimes you don't. But you expect me to keep living. And I'm telling you right now, your plant is in danger. It's dying. Like my tree died. It's dying. You're not giving me any plant food in my soil. You're not putting any plant food in my soil to keep me healthy, to keep me growing. And you're not giving me enough water to keep me going either. But yet you expect to find this beautiful plant every time you come home. You expect this plant to be standing strong in its pot when you don't even talk to your plant. You don't water it. You don't feed it. How do you expect this? How do you expect these results? And so I've been telling him, like, that's how I've been feeling lately. Like, I'm lacking a whole bunch out of this relationship. And, you know, just like an extension from the conversation that I made yesterday on this video. Yeah, it's like, where you go through these, it's not even an emotion. You actually are lonely. You get lonely. And so, that's why I did ask him after counseling. I said, I need to ask you 2 important questions. Because number one, I don't want to forget. And secondly, I want to give you time to answer. And I don't want you to answer me right now. Which he did anyway. But I said, yeah, I need to know, where do I fit into your life? And what's my purpose in your life? You know, and right away he answers. And I said, I told you you did not have to answer right away. I wanted you to think about it. Take a couple of days to think about it. But he answers right away. You're with me. And I love you. And you're not going anywhere. And I'm like, look, you're not understanding that you're correct in one sense. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Where am I going? You know, like, this is not going anywhere. But I didn't even bother to tell him that part because I didn't want to piss him off even more. But, in a way, it kind of made me feel a little bit better as well. It kind of, something like that, as small as that, kind of boosted my ego for a bit and for a moment. Oh, so he does want me. oh, he does love me. He does want me in his life. Okay. But again, why would I have to, or why does it take for me to bring up these questions to know this? This is something I should already know every day. And there's something that Pastor brought up. He was like, oh my God, I wish I knew like what led up to that, but he was saying something to the like, it sounded like in a marriage, some of you argue, some of you just check out, and some of you lie to yourselves. You say, or you lie, you like fake it. That's what it was. You fake it. And you're like, okay, we don't need to talk about it. Everything's fine. Everything's going to be fine. And that's the part that stood out to me the most. Because that is what my husband says to me on a daily. He tells me everything's going to be fine. Now I know that is how he checks out. And I'm sure you've all heard of this, where it's like fake it till you make it. But this isn't faking it till you make it. This is just checking out. Like, this is an easy out. Like, I don't need to answer you. You don't need to talk to me anymore. We're good. We're okay. It's going to be okay. And I was like, wow. I was taken back by that. I was like, wow. That's why I was like, Pastor, do you have my home bugged or something? Are you in this relationship too? Are you in this car right now listening to me? Because, wow. Maybe he listens to my videos and I don't even know it. Hi, Pastor. By the way, I said I loved you today. I do love my pastor. I may not agree with everything that he says, especially when it comes to trust logos, pastor. But anyway, I do love my pastor. I love his wife, Miss Terry, as well. When I was watching him on TV, I saw how much older he's gotten, and he's battling cancer, you all. So if you all can pray for him and come into an agreement with the congregation, to pray for him that he will be healed. He is healed already in the name of Jesus. But he's aged so much because of this disease, and I notice that sometimes he repeats himself, or he looks like he forgot something, and I'm like, oh, I love you, Pastor, and I mean that in a godly way. You all please don't try to take that somewhere else. Like, I mean it in a godly way. I don't mean like love, I want to be with my pastor. No, I love him in a godly way as a spiritual guidance, I would say father, but I don't know him that well. But as a spiritual guidance, as a man of God, I look at him that way, and that's how I love them both. His wife, Miss Terry, she's going through her own battle. He's mentioned many times how she is bipolar, and I pray for her as well, because as a person that deals with some mental illness sometimes, like depression, anxiety, I'm not bipolar, but it's and I don't want to claim this, but sometimes these things are they come and go and they're not very controllable, you know? But I still believe that we can take control. And that's where I'm going back to what my counselor said, where I need to get control of my life and start taking care of myself. And she's right. And then I started thinking, like, wow, as women, we take on so much. We take on our kids, we take on our husbands, partners, and we go through a lot of stress that it actually starts to take toll on our emotions and our mentality and physicality. And I think as women, we need to be reminded or encouraged and reminded that we need to take care of ourselves. Like, yes, all of whatever we're going through, whatever we have to take care of is important. Like, our kids is important. Our husbands are important. However, so are we, and we can't forget that about life. We can't forget ourselves. We need to nourish ourselves too. And that could be in any little thing. That could be if you're a tea drinker, having your favorite tea and a warm blanket, sitting in your favorite spot and just sipping on that tea and just relaxing in that moment and taking it all in, you know, and preferably like at the end of the day, because that way you could end your day on a good note. And then you can start refreshed in the morning. Or, you know, a bubble bath. I don't have a tub, unfortunately, but if I did, I would take a bubble bath. Or even just listening to some soft music. I haven't done this in a long time, where I've listened to praise and worship music with the candles. But if you don't like praise and worship music, listen to some other soft music, something else that you might like. I don't recommend those 44 hertz or whatever, those healing music things. I personally do not believe in that. I told you all about my experience yesterday about that, and I don't recommend it. I wouldn't want you all to do something that's going to harm you, you know? I'm going to encourage you all to listen to something more positive, more soothing. There's also some, oh gosh, I forgot what you call them, some chants. It's by monks. And it's a chant that you can play in your home to kind of bring those good vibes in, you know. As far as I know, that's a good thing. That wears off all the evil. If you all know any different, please let me know, because I haven't played them, and I certainly don't want to welcome anything not of God into my home. So let me know. What else? Eating maybe a favorite dessert, like I've mentioned, some ice cream, or a cheesecake, or an apple pie with ice cream, you know, whatever you like. But even getting your nails done. Sir, they are closed. It is 10:03. They close at 10. You are not getting something right now, sir. Anyway, getting your nails done. And that's kind of costly, but if you can afford it, hey, go get it done. Going out for a walk, that's for free. Just going out for a nice brisk walk for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I do encourage exercise because it does make you feel better. It clears your mind. It really does. Whatever stress you've been going through, it really does relax you. As much as you think, why would I want to exercise when I'm already stressed out? It helps. Trust me, it helps. You're not going to be doing strenuous exercising. You're just going to be doing like me, like the bike for 1 hour, or walking for 1 hour, or jogging if you can do your jogging, you know, for 1 hour. That's it. A lot of you all have pets. Take your dogs with you. Take your dogs on a walk. I'm sure they'll enjoy it, you know. But whatever you do something that's going to relax you. I was going to advise also like a show that you can watch. However, you know, to be honest, I don't really think that really helps. I binge watched The Hunting Wives. And now that I'm done with it, it's like, okay, so now what? So I don't recommend that. You want to get a routine of something doing for yourself that you're going to enjoy and try to do every day. Not something that you're only going to enjoy for a couple of hours to get your mind off of things, and then what? You know? This guy is still sitting there at the drive-thru wanting to order, and they are closed, sir. And he's going to be mad. Oh my gosh. But anyway, yeah, if y'all have any ideas, please let me know. I'm telling you all are holding back on me. Y'all need to let me know. And my son is coming. Okay, so I thank you all for listening again. And really brief, I wanted to say that, I don't know if I mentioned this or not in a video. I don't think I uploaded this video, but I wanted to say that I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I left a comment on somebody's channel, and I didn't say anything bad. All I said was that it was nice to hear from them, and that I hope they upload some more. And I was just trying to be nice. Like, I wasn't like coming on to you in any way. I feel I wasn't. I'm married, you know, and I know my place. I'm not going to be like trying to flirt, trying to have an affair over here. But if I made you uncomfortable, I really am sorry. I do hope. I noticed that you took your video down. I hope that you do continue to upload, and I won't comment. I won't comment on them. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. So anyhow, thank you all for listening. Love you all. Love, hugs, and prayers. Bye.